Good evening. You are taking our coverage. It's a double header here on day number 3 of the Concacaf Women's Football Championship the National Stadium here in Kingston. It is Bermuda versus Cuba, and the teams will be moving out onto the field in just a matter of seconds. Just notice the 6 ball boards that are qualifying flag that indicates the ultimate goal. It's in the World Cup in France next year, and this is just on that journey. 3 from 5, and those USA in October for a final fling at the final. This is what we have here to what happens now. At the moment on viewpoints, Bermuda and tonight it will be a very, very nice night. Cuba would knock Antigua and Barbuda for a spot in the World Cup. The teams are on the field just in the main stand, and we have national anthems in the pregame protocol. So one national anthem, El Himno de Bahia. Remain standing for the anthem of the national. My apologies. The official anthem because it's the British officer. So when the of God Save the Queen, they use Hail, which is a national song, but the official anthem you just heard there, anthem of the United Bermuda, British Overseas Territory. So, coming close to the end of the pre-game protocol, the team looks to meet the officials, and in a couple of minutes' time, we should be on the way here at National Stadium in Jamaica, Cuba versus Bermuda, and it is the 6th game on day 3 of the championship. We're still towards we have 4 changes from the team that whipped team go and hope they can bag the 6 as they go. The later, me and the they were where they Chris the show Salvador are of the tonight. Yeah, Salvador and Haiti from the lineup they made to get and put on table and have good night. Of course, able to be looking at such back team in fact they go maker considered way there, operating in full blue. Really in. So referee let's make sure just happy. Come with it. Earlier, and to big form. BD 5 goals now. A double from there. Tucker, who not taking over goal scoring lead. She won DJ Shaw. Talking about the in the house. Antigua stayed. And imagine a Trinidad team somewhere in the house as well. We're here at the National Stadium. The final game is 3 of the championships and 3 qualifiers for the Concacaf playoff in the United States will become a lot clearer at the end of business tonight as we look at the Bermudians. Had a tough night against Jamaica. Now they have to defend. Cuba, a team with a number of outstanding individuals. They lost their opening game to Trinidad and Tobago on the opening day, but they hit back and hit back beautifully against Antigua and Bermuda with a 7-0 thrashing. Tonight, they would even love half of those goals to take them to 6 points. Got 90 minutes to do it. The same as Bermuda, who are looking for their first points of the championships. Here they come, Bermuda, streaming forward. Latest attack concentrated on the left channel, results in a throw to the Cuban team. Zaylin, the number 13 for Cuba, had a good night on Monday. Likewise, Fuentes Ramirez, the number 6. The outstanding midfielder Laura, who wears the number 20, is on the bench for tonight. One of the 4 changes made by the Cuban coaching staff, and early headways here by the Cuban team. They've gotten a corner, and Perez Torres was really tops the other night. You're looking there at Peter Robinson, coach of the Bermuda team. Here is Perez Torres. He was in top form on Monday night. So Cuba asking most of the questions. Nicely floated ball there from Palais Ellis, who was also on the score sheet on Monday night. Jessica Popo Alvarez, she's had a standout tournament. Was good against Trinidad, superb against Antigua, and she's one of those you've got to keep an eye on tonight. Bermuda having a bit of problems getting the ball away. They have done so eventually. The Cubans have that possession in the form of Zaydin. Nia Christopher, one of those who came in for Bermuda. Didn't get a start when they faced Jamaica. He was on the bench. Perez Torres trying to break free. So Cuba, here's their captain, Mina Novo. Sandoval, number 11, got 2 goals on the night as well. Could have gotten a lot more. Here they come forward once more. Cuba, nice touches inside the box. And a chance still for Cuba, still alive. Pushed further away from the goal, though, was Leo Gonzalez. And eventually forced back upfield. And Cuba will now have to start that attack all over again. They've taken the long route. Ended up going nowhere. Throw into Bermuda. Birch Walden. by Cuba. Bermuda spend most of their time trying to the ball away from the air. Can be bad when they really get the early test to see what the Cubans have to offer. So far, so for them. From yesterday. Spin right slow. Clearly didn't for moving. The attempt there at keeping the ball from good deal. The throw. No. To link up near Christopher. So 50 Cuban 15. On the ball. And the Montesino in the team against Trinidad and Tobago. But from bench. Goal tonight. Just different teams and different players. That is Leo. So Cuba has more as he's to blink. Control. Looking for this game. Edwards. Hug. Prevent his reaction. Yes. Just want to see those. Good. Down in defense. Right foot. Build defense. Cuba game as quite right. From the, sides. I think in this game, 3 seconds to the ball every second. The Bermuda and in the last 3 or 4 minutes, settled themselves in their position. Over. played in. Keeper, he and the follow-up, the second table. And she is got out the applause from the neutral here. Twice he was upon, got the chance here. You know where fight. No. But look, play like Christopher and run on this Darrell. He came to the follow up from Zoni. Keeping it from Dago. See what you can do. Sandal kick over into the ring. Playing. Actually, but so the chance of the game so far is probably have gone aerial. The goalkeeper had committed her. Maybe that would have been an option. I'm not there. Sometimes you have to think. Defense was Ramon Pez. Got away. Was her with Bermuda in defense. One standing Tasney Fubler. Wonderful into the top. Terrell. Close on here, but 3 killers. The felt on that one. The first corner game to Bermuda. For the Cubans, Minuo, she came back and played the best. She created addition. And Bermuda has more. I'm Christopher, perhaps the smallest player of the has not a great deal for the box. Out now here by Cuba. Referee Benitez indicating that I've seen it. Let's see what. Anyway, corner with a lot of height, but not a great deal of pace. And the effort there coming in from the Bermuda number 5. Edwards, well held by Hidalgo, and the Cuban goal. Rotating quickly. Slindo. Hot in possession. Cuba trying to hit with a quick counter. The Bermudans will have none of it. Frazzoni linking up here with Edwards. It's a Cuba through. It's a Bermuda through. So a bit of pressure being applied here by Bermuda. I'm sure Coach Robinson must be happy with the kind of start that her team has made. Not overawed by the reputation and the quality in this Cuban team. They're matching them. Frazzoni putting the pressure on Marcia Leon. But Leon turns expertly, still keeps possession for Cuba. And they're working their way wonderfully out of the fence. This is Zaylin. So the Bermuda front three, Frazzoni, Lindo, and Darrell, creating a bit of problems for the Cuban defense. Sandoval, very skillful player. And a chance for Perez Torres, trying to hit it one time on the volley. Did that, but lacking in direction. It's a nicely floated cross. And it went over the head of Edwards, a very short player. No surprise it did. But the execution from Torres wasn't the best. So we've played quarter of an hour in this game. The final game on day 3 of this qualifying tournament. Cuba, stream forward. Zaylen. Frazzoni. Captain Christian. This is Edwards. Scrappy bit of football at the moment. But Cuba. Ramos Lopez and Torres got their lines mixed up on that occasion. Let's see if they can do it again. Perez Ellis not able to kickstart the Cuban attack. Edwards still with the ball. The Cuban players almost stopped playing. They were expecting the whistle because the ball hit the hand of Edwards, but the referee says it's ball to hand. And the Bermudans taking advantage of that and trying to get a cross in. But Mina Novo, the captain, was in the way. Here's a skillful Sandoval looking for passing options. Alvarez throwing to Cuba. Cancelling each other out. There's very little between teams. The Cuba start out very well in the first maybe 5 minutes. But the Bermudans have gradually worked their way back into the reckoning and now matching the Cubans stride for stride. Can only make for a good game. We're not really seeing one just now. But here's the Cuban team. Perez Torres lobbing the goalkeeper. The pace and the power on that one was just too much. But then she had to, because Pond was advancing. A let off there for Bermuda. Well, she had more time than I thought. Maybe could have gone to the left or right of the goalkeeper instead of going for the lob. Could have been a better opportunity. Robbed of the ball here by Lindo. Lindo trying to work her way between two defenders. Still Lindo using her upper body strength. Will she get the shot off? Well, she can't. She was forced away from the goal. She gets a corner, but very, very good run there from Tia Lindo for Bermuda. Showing the confidence to take on the Cuban defense. Fighting off the captain, but forced away. And they've got a second corner in about 3 minutes. Again, Christopher. Here a chance for Edwards. Lindo. A weak grounder. Ramos Lopez looking for Torres. She finds Torres. Torres against the captain. Christian. Still Christian. Still wonderfully done by Torres. But it's Bermuda's ball. It's going to be a lot tougher for the Cubans, and I'm sure they would have come into this game expecting. I remind you, if Cuba wins tonight, then what it would do is officially take Antigua and Barbuda out of the equation as far as qualifying is concerned, because it's 3 teams who will go through, and Antigua and Barbuda only have 1 game remaining, and they're still without a point. So the best they can end up with is 3. A win for Cuba will take them to 6, and with Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago already on 6 points, Antigua and Barbuda, it would be impossible for them to go through. So no prize for telling who the Antigua and Barbuda team would be cheering for in this game. Clearance there by Dale. Frazzoni running off the ball and looking for the pass. Caleb Bragman, the number 8, who came on as a second-half substitute against Jamaica and did well. Well enough to get a start tonight. Edwards, very strong, hard to get off the football. But Cuba gets the possession back. Ellis. Easy take for Pond. Ramos Lopez bearing down on her. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Thanks for the pleasure of your company. You're watching Concacaf Caribbean Women's Qualifying Action, and we're here live in Jamaica on the National Stadium. Ellis looking for space to effect that shot. She did get the shot off, but it was charged down, and a follow-up coming there from out of midfield. Fuentes Ramirez and the number 6 for Cuba. The second game of a doubleheader. The earlier game, Trinidad and Tobago were 5-0 winners over Antigua and Barbuda. Look at the effort there from Fuentes Ramirez. And you're a fan of athletics, we've got you covered tomorrow. If you're a fan of football, we've got you covered tomorrow as well. And for the athletics, it's the meet in Zurich, Diamond League. It's a 2-day final, one in Zurich on Thursday, and that can be seen at 2 o'clock Eastern Caribbean time, 1 o'clock Jamaica time. On Flow Sports 1. Then on Friday, from the Belgian capital, Brussels, same time. And it's a Diamond League final. Sure, you would have enjoyed watching the Diamond League on Flow Sports all season long. It's been an exciting season. And it will all climax in Brussels on Friday. Make sure you tune into Flow Sports 1 for that. Then on the same day, that's tomorrow night, on Flow Sports 1, you might want to have a look at Sports Drop Nightly, 7:30 Eastern Caribbean time, 6:30 here in Jamaica. In the meantime, Bermuda, Frazzoni. Good first touch, been hustled there by Zaylin. And we're going to be back here at the National Stadium in Kingston, Jamaica, tomorrow night for another football match. This time, it's the Scotiabank Concacaf League, and it features the Jamaican champions, Portmore United versus Otago. And it gets going at 10 o'clock Eastern Caribbean time, 9 o'clock here in Jamaica. So you can watch out for that one as well. Fuentes Ramirez playing the ball all the way back to goalkeeper Hidalgo. Alvarez. Ellis gets the return pass. Trying to play the through ball to Torres. Torres now has it and kicks in the back of the net. Well, the assistant referee's flag had gone up and it will not count. So Cuba thought they had taken the lead. Not so, says the assistant referee, Lydia Ayala Equea. All 5 games so far have had results, not had a drawn game. Frazzoni charged down the left. Stopped in her tracks there by Zaylene. So dangerous Darrell, still trouble there for Cuba. Bailed out by Fuentes Ramirez. So we're seeing some end-to-end action here. This is Edwards. Torres. Not good football at all there from Torres. That, though, was a timely interception. Good move here from... Just going past her right upright. Gonzalez with that latest Cuban effort. This is Ellis. Flicking the ball over. That will do it for you any day at a football match. Fans love to see stuff like those. And Ellis with the number 10 shirt suggests that she's capable of stuff like those. From the days of Edson Arantes dos Nascimento, known to the globe as Pele. The number 10 shirt, since Pele made it famous, it's become the most coveted, and it's worn generally either by the best player or the trickiest on the pitch for the different teams. Edwards in the center of the park for Bermuda, flicking the ball forward. Again, she has the ideas. The execution, though, isn't correct. Hidalgo. Left stranded. Luckily for her, it was her teammate who had possession of the football. Free kick to Bermuda. Referee thought about it. Then she said, yeah, that was illegally done. Long kick downfield. Zaylin pushed away by Frazzoni. Lopez. Still Lopez. Torres turned into Lindo. Kept possession. Now here's Captain Mina Luva. Showed too much of the football there to Christopher. And Christopher, charging down the right, needs to look across and get a good crossover. This is Darrell! Very, very close. By the Bermuda number 9. She would want that back, wouldn't she? Really, really should have made that count. All alone. Charging back was the Captain Mina Nova, but Darrell is miles ahead of her and really should have made that one count. Close call again for Cuba. Shows they're vulnerable. Frazzoni, seeing a lot of the football on this left channel, has her own battle here with Zaylin. Good move by Torres. Look at this bit of play here. One step over. Ah, wonderful feet. So the number 20, Laura, who is on the bench, was the midfield star for Cuba. But tonight, it's Ramirez who is running the show, and she's doing a good job of keeping that midfield honest as far as Cuba, the Bermudans are concerned. She's really, really done well in the center of the park for Cuba, Ramirez. Nice ball flicked in. This is Sandoval. Will she get the shot off? Yes, she does. And what brilliance. What brilliance. Cuba taking the lead. Sandoval was on target twice on Monday night. She has picked up from where she left off. And you could see it was going to be dangerous for Bermuda. The moment this little number 11 picked up the ball, very good close skills and a good head on her shoulders. And the moment she dipped right, that was going to be very, very interesting. Look at this ball. Beating the Bermudan defense. Sandoval cut inside. The rest is history. Beating Pontour near post of all places. But wonderfully done. So Cuba on the score sheet. Bermuda wants an immediate response, but offside. That goal came on minute 32. In minute 32. So Leanne Perez Sandoval with her third goal of the campaign. Christopher, backed up by two Cuban defenders. Ah, brilliantly done. And the ball played in. Is this an opening for Bermuda to restore parity? Got to admire their spirit, though, the Bermudans. Irrespective of what, they just keep coming. They too are yet to score in this tournament. But this is only their second game. Still have got 2 more games to go. The next game is on Friday night against Antigua and Barbuda. Cubans will get the night off, while Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago back in. Good ball played in. Good control there by Torres. She goes for the shot. Pond equal to the task. Grabbing on the second time of asking. Nicely floated ball from Ellis. The weight on that was perfect. And the first touch from Torres was even better. Here's Ramirez, running the show in the middle of the park. Everything good about Cuba has gone through her. Here's Torres. Can't go for the shot because the angle was just a bit too tight and she was heavily policed. Now she gets the shot off. Or was it a cross? Take your pick. The Endo Pond got there ahead of the unrushing Cubans. So a 32nd minute strike from Lillian Sandoval has Cuba 1-0 up in this game. goal scorer Sandoval, all over the park. You get the impression she has a license to roam. Good turn. Ah. Torres. Cuba. Stepping up the intensity. Threading their passes. They're finding space in between the Bermudan setup. Here's Sandoval skipping away. And last touch was off Sandoval. She's your goal scorer. And this was the goal that broke the deadlock. It was a pinpoint, accurate pass from Marcio Leon. And sure, Coach Robinson is going to have a word for Bertrand Waldron. Really should have done a lot better with that aerial ball from Leon. Zalin. Sandoval. Trying to pick out Gonzalez. Most of the players having kinesia tape on their hamstring. Zalin has one on her left hamstring. Not easily visible because it's not the colored one. Here she's at the throw. Corner to Cuba. Cuba wants it short. Sandoval looking straight across the line. They go with it short. So Torres and Sandoval working in tandem. Offside, says the assistant referee, pointing to the Mexican captain, who is sprinting back into her natural habitat. That's the defensive zone. Here she's stationed. Rarely she comes forward. So we'd just like to point you to the permutations once again. Irrespective of what happens here tonight, it won't trouble too much either team, but it does have something to do with the Antigua and Barbuda team, and that's if Cuba wins tonight. Antigua and Barbuda's final game will be one of academic interest only. A charge here by Darrell, kicked over on the edge of the area. Very, very, very close. The referee looked across to her assistant, wanted to get from her, where did that offense take place? It was perilously close to the 18-yard area. They're still in dialogue, the referee and their assistant. Now she's convinced. And the first yellow card of the game. I tell you what, the opening game today had no yellow card in it. This is it. Hidalgo. Yeah, the referee got that one right. And I suppose that was what the conversation was about between herself and the assistant, whether it was a cardable offense as opposed to where the offense took place, because it was very clear that it was outside the area. So Bermuda now with a chance to make something of this free kick. Near Christopher standing over it. Cuba has done very well in terms of marking. They've picked up every one of the Bermudan players in the area. It's going to be, but she's still got the header on. Darrell just flicking with the back of the head. It's going over Hidalgo's goal. Leon. Gonzalez. Cut out. Now it's 3 against 2. Daryl bustling her way, deciding to go for the shot. Out of frustration, she looked over her shoulder and noticed no one was there to assist and decided to go for it one time. Probably could have held the ball up a bit more. So we're in the last 5 minutes of this first half, in which Cuba, with that 32nd minute goal from Sandoval, continues to hold the advantage. A slim one, and teams with 1-0 leads normally go for a bit of protection around that one by getting another, or going for another. But this Bermuda team has shown that it can compete. Daryl again. Free kick to Bermuda. Daryl has caused all kinds of problems for this Cuban defense. Lindo has also caused some problems as well. So you could see where Bermuda could bridge this Cuban defense. Team captain Mina Nova not doing too well on that particular play. And Lindo now with a free kick for Bermuda. Has shown that she can kick this football. What will she do from this? Lindo with a low shot. Powerless shot. Absolutely no power in that one. Caused no problems at all for Hidalgo. Playing around on that occasion was Ramirez. Bit of carelessness from Cuba has allowed Lindo to get off another shot. Torres trying to fight off the challenge of Frazzoni. It's a Cuba throw. It's a Cuban coach Nava. Matching wits against Keita Robinson in the Bermudan dugout. Captain Christian bringing her goalkeeper Pond into the action. Robbed of the ball, the captain again not having the greatest of games tonight. Normally an assured player, but tonight not having the greatest of games. A chance here for Bermuda. It would have been calamitous for Hidalgo. Daryl again. Look at this piece of goalkeeping and decision making, if you could call it so. Casual. Uninspiring. So despite taking the lead on minute 32, the Cubans have not dominated this game. Not been allowed to. Frazzoni, chance for Bermuda. Unselfishly trying to play in Daryl. So we're in the 45th minute. Bradman losing possession in the middle of the park. Could be a very, very dangerous and costly mistake. Still Cuba. Falling over at the crucial moment was Lopez, but she's still battling on. The free kick eventually won here by Bermuda. Frazzoni. Taylor Frazzoni. This is Lindo. And the referee dead on 45 minutes. Let's call a halt to this game. We're at the break, and it is Cuba who are leading by a 0-0. A well-taken goal by Lillian Sandoval, her third of the campaign, has the Cubans leading the Bermudans by 1-0. It's a close game. The Bermudans are giving as much as they're getting, but the Cubans just edging it with their superior technical ability. But it's been Bermuda who has really stood up against the Cubans tonight. Cuba leading by 1-0. We're going to go for a break. Rejoin us in 15 minutes when we have the start of the second half.
I said that was payback for making you run.
My chip's just not working with that.
Llega, llega, trota, trota, trota.
Welcome back to the National Stadium here in Kingston, Jamaica for the second half of the feature game in the doubleheader on match day 3 of the Concacaf Caribbean Women's Qualifiers. You're looking at the Bermudan team in a huddle, talking things over. Captain Christian having a chat with her teammate. They trail by a goal to nil, but they are by no means out of this competition. In fact, out of this game. The Cuban team, they took the lead on minute 32 through Lilian Sandoval, and it's her third goal of the campaign. The Cubans will make a change to start the second half, and they'll be bringing on Lisandra Moya, who started their last game, and she'll be taking the place of the number 15 player, Marcio Leon. That's Susel Marcio Leon. So Leon making her way off the field, and on goes Lisandra Moya. So the Cubans will get us underway for the second half. And they're looking to join Jamaica. In fact, another substitution is being made here. Well, no. The player was standing on the sideline. So we're underway here for the second half. And I remind you that the Cubans are trying to join Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago on 6 points, which would take the trio perilously close to taking the 3 spots that are available from this group to the Concacaf final round playoff in the USA in October. So Zelaine will be taking the throw for Cuba over on the far side. And they have started the second half on the front foot, so to speak. And the goalkeeper Pond had to react very, very, very quickly because Ellis was right on her doorsteps. And she repelled the challenge of the Cuban number 10. Edwards had a good first half. Likewise, Darrell and Lindo, not Captain Mina Nova. She had a first half to forget. She has ample time to get it right. She's a captain and normally an assured player. Just didn't get her game on in the first half. This is Frazzoni. Has a bit of skill, but most running tonight, and not really. But here's a substitute, Moya. Very good tackle by the captain. Waiting on a free kick, Cuba. The referee says no. They'll get a throw in the end. Another throw to Cuba. So Cuba trying to keep the pressure on. This is goal scorer Sandoval. A nicely weighted pass. The Pond was off her line very, very quickly. Sandoval. Pass cut out there by Dill. Zalian has gone across to take this throw. Good move there by Torres. Losing possession though. Give and go for the Bermudan defense, alive to the danger, and now set off on a counter-attacking move of their own. Darrell brought down. Referee Benitez wants to have a word with the offender, and it's a captain, Nina Nova. This is it? Yeah. strike this free kick for Bermuda. Tasney Fubler. Right into the arms of goalkeeper Hidalgo. Frazzoni. Edwards. Trying to thread that through. Offside. Bermudans have been caught in that offside trap quite a few occasions tonight. So the Cuban defense, once they're in possession, they go forward. They're playing a high line, and the Bermudans might be forced to go aerial because they've not been handling the offside trap set up here by the Cubans very well. Alvarez. Torres. Ellis. Cuba making progress. This is Ellis on the ball again. Overhit pass. And a goal kick to Bermuda. So Bermuda, all will not be lost for them if they should lose this game. Because they still got 2 more games to go and can still, if they should go on to lose this game, still a long way to go. And they can very well come back in this game. This is Sandoval, just giving you some of the possibilities. Sandoval teeing it up for Torres. Torres swings it in and shadowing the ball. Kuna Dill. Yeah, so saying if the Bermudans should go on to lose this game tonight, they still have got 2 more games and can get to 6 points. So all would not be lost for them, but I'm sure they're looking to get back into this game to begin with, get an equalizing goal, and then who knows what else from there. But it's a long-range effort from Torres! Oh, a brilliant goal! It's a thinking striker's goal. She spotted the goalkeeper off her line and decided to go for it from distance. And it connected beautifully. Torres with a 3rd goal of the campaign from distance. And Bermuda, it's gotten a bit more difficult for them now to get back into this game. Look at this. Wonderfully done. So the Cubans have put a bit of protection around that 1-goal advantage. Now it's 2-0, and that goal arrived on minute 52. And if there was one player on the field you were going to pick out to try something like that, it would be her. Wonderfully gifted football player. Here she's on the ball again. It's a good football brain. Good close touch and skills to go along with it. Free kick won by Cuba. And the Bermudans cannot afford a 3rd because it could signal the end of the night for them. A substitution to be made by Bermuda. They're going to be bringing on the number 7, Kayla Furbert, and they're going to be sacrificing Kayla Bragman. So it's a straight swap. It was Bragman who took Fulbert's place in the starting lineup. She's arrived in time to defend against a free kick in a very dangerous place for Bermuda. Decided to go direct on goal. That definitely wasn't a pass or anything like that. And you only do that when your confidence is high, or you're comfortable in the game from a scoreline standpoint. The 2-0 advantage here for Cuba represents a place of comfort, but not one to get too comfortable with, because we've seen the Bermudans from time to time making their way into the 18-yard area, just faulty shooting, or else they could very well have registered their first goal of the tournament. Dalgo, characteristic of her to use up the length of her area when she's in possession of the football. Cuban, wonderful skill there by Sandoval. Sandoval charging down the left channel. No need to connect with this pass. Is this a corner? Yes, the referee says. Just somehow thought that. But it's a goal kick. Figured it. So I was wondering if the last touch was really off of Bermuda. It did seem as if it came off Lopez. Ramirez in the middle of the park, picking out Alvarez. Captain Novo. Fulber. Look at this. Look at this. Audacious. Confidence. Brilliant thinking. She looked up. She knew exactly where Pond was. You've got to admire that. Good goal there from Torres. This is Gonzalez. Taken off her. Sandoval. Moya. Now Novo. Zelen. Cubans in possession of the football and sharing it nicely. Lopez just losing possession at the last minute. And Christopher gets a look in. Nice give and go. In there with Darrell. Christopher charging forward. Darrell! Again, Bermuda showing signs that they can prize open this Cuban defense. But their shooting has not been the greatest tonight. And Darrell has got quite a number of looks at this Cuban goal, you know. The next goal in this game, if there's one more, will be crucial. Because if the Bermudians can get one back at this stage with approaching 60 minutes to go, 60 minutes gone in the game, with 30 minutes to go, it could spark them to life and push them on. A Cuban goal on the flip side, though, would pretty much kill this game off. So a third goal in this game, from whichever half it comes from, will be crucial. Ramirez. Alvarez taking the Cuban team forward. Sandoval able to keep it in. Here's Bermuda. Lindo. Good interception there from Captain Nuvo. That one was heading for Christopher, and she was behind the Cuban defense. So that would have been a brilliant opportunity for Bermuda. All 5 teams in this tournament are group winners from the first round of qualifiers. But 2 of them will see their quest for World Cup glory come to an end in the next couple of days. Alvarez with a clean tackle on Fulbert. And the 3 teams which will be advancing from this group, they have precious little time to get ready for the tournament in the USA, October 4 to 17. It's a quick turnaround because we're almost into September already. So they'll have just about a month to get ready. They're already in competition shape, but the step up in terms of quality will be gigantic. And that is where it requires them getting themselves in very, very good shape to take on the best of the Concacaf, the likes of Canada, Mexico, the USA, and so on. Moya. Frazzoni, pending. This is Ellis. Turns away. Ramirez. 12-yard pass. Lindo, Christopher, and Daryl have worked well for Bermuda. Here they are again working in tandem. This time, though, the Cuban defense has stood up well, resolute. Another wasted ball here for the Bermudans. Chance to shoot. And the goalkeeper, Hidalgo, is going to take a lot more than that to beat her. But an effort nonetheless from Lindo. Another substitution to be made by Bermuda. Jade Stewart is coming on. And Thea Lindo, her last contribution just now was that shot. Thea Lindo being taken off. And her place to be taken by Jade Stewart.
In minute number 63, that's 63. Number 14.
Not happy. Not happy, Lindo.
Is replaced by number 20, Jade Stewart. Number 20, Jade Stewart coming in for Bermuda. In minute number 63.
So the substitution coming on 64 minutes. And based on how things are going at the moment, in terms of the points, you might not need a goal difference to determine the 3. You might need the goal difference to determine who probably wins the tournament. But in terms of the bigger picture, which is to qualify, you might not need it based on how the flow of the tournament has been going. Because the leading 3 teams so far have scored loads of goals. Loads of goals. And you might not need it to determine who goes through. And that is slowly taking shape right now. Because if Cuba should hold on to this and win this game, they'll have already taken out Antigua and Barbuda out of the equation. So they'll have 3 in 4 chances to go through. And probably you don't want to pencil them in. And a heavy defeat tonight, if they're beaten Bermuda, would make it almost impossible for them. So then it would be down to Cuba, Trinidad and Tobago, and Jamaica. But still, loads of football to be played. So I'm just trying to put the possibilities forward. So the fans over in Havana and elsewhere in Cuba be happy with what's happening at the moment. Would have been disappointed with the opening day result, but things are back on track for Cuba, looking for their 2nd win in a row. And the sting seemed to have come out of the Bermudans' play. Yes, they're still up and about, but what we saw from them in the first half, we're not seeing that bite, if you like, from them. They're still playing, but I suppose psychologically it would have affected them, the concession of that 2nd goal. When they were trailing 1-0, it was always a chance of them getting back in the game. And even though there's still a chance of them getting back into the game, they've got to do it twice, which is where mentally it probably have affected them. Here is Sandoval trying to make things even more difficult for them. Managed to keep her footing. Gazzoni, well won. Stewart, and now Edwards. This is the problem with the Bermudans. They're at a stage now where they have to make every possession count. Moya skips away from 1, 2. Trying to go alone. So Bermuda conceding 6 goals already in the tournament. Yet to score. So they have a -6 goal difference. As at now, Mina Nova. Putting her teammate Moya under a lot of pressure. Again, because of clumsy play from the captain. Well done by Sandoval. Didn't have to pass the match. Now Edwards picks it up for Bermuda. The touch was heavy. Dale. Captain Christian. Alvarez running into traffic. Brought down. She and Edwards clashing in the middle of the park. Alvarez is still down. So Cuba 9 goals in the tournament so far. And they've conceded 2, so they have a +7 goal difference. And if they should go to 6 points tonight, as it seems as if they're heading to, they could be, in terms of the goal difference. So far, they have a +7. Trinidad and Tobago scored 5 against Antigua and Barbuda today, and 3 against this Cuban team, so they have 8 goals and 2 against. So at this stage, Cuba would be second in the standing at the end of play tonight on goal difference, behind Jamaica, who has a +13. So Trinidad and Tobago would fall to 3rd if the game was to end this way. And that 3rd would be on goal difference, because they'll all have 6 points. Ramirez to Captain Novo. And I suppose it's fair to say Bermuda has been one of the upstarts as far as women's football is concerned in the region. But they've done well since coming into international football, if you could call it, in 2005. Trying to put a program together, and Coach Robinson has been highly thought of in capital city Hamilton and elsewhere, because for the first time the national women's team looks like they're heading in a particular direction. So another change for Cuba, taking out the number 19, Lopez, and Mengana Perez is going to be coming onto the field of play. Perez has a goal in the tournament already. He was one of the scorers against Antigua and Barbuda. She worked so well with Torres on that night, and they created problems for Antigua and Barbuda. Ended up with a 7-0 victory. Let's see if she'll be working in tandem with Torres again tonight. And she's immediately onto the field, immediately in possession of the football. Mengana. So it's an indication that the Cuban coaching staff, they're going for more goals, so they have inserted fresh legs in the offensive third. Free kick to Cuba. Referee Benitez just coming across. Make sure that she diffuses and a little tension that might be lurking. Alvarez has come across. Goalkeeper Pond falls favorably for her. No problems at all in the Bermudan 18 area. Things have become a little wayward in the latter stages of this game. Cuba comfortably ahead in Bermuda, trying to get back into this game. A point would be brilliant for them from here on in. Jade Stewart, a substitute, going for a right-footed effort there. This is Edwards. Edwards, she has the heart, the tenacity, clearly a fighter. And she battles hard for every single ball. And a necessity in football teams. I know they're not the same gender, but she reminds me of Gennaro Guttuso, the Italian midfield dynamo, now coach at AC Milan. So Edwards standing over it. Only candidate at the moment for this free kick. He floats it in, a chance for Frazzoni. But goalkeeper Hidalgo again working for her money tonight. In the first half, she made a double save. And just now, she left her line and thwarted that effort from Bermuda. So there's still hope for Bermuda. They're still getting behind the Cuban defense. Good work by Captain Christian. Now the Cubans are doing a bit of showboating. Still 16 minutes to play in normal time. Good chase here by Daryl. Ran a good 15, close to 20 meters to get to that one. But it will count for nothing in the end. And the assistant referee's flag has been kept down. The Bermudians were looking across for a possible offside call. But Ellis has gone on her merry way. Still Ellis, despite a challenge there from Christian, she still manages to keep possession. Now Sandoval. Still Sandoval. Sold her teammate short and allow for Zoni to intercept and get Jade Stewart in motion. Frustration there from Daryl. Ran her socks off tonight. Nothing to show for it. She too is wearing a bit of kinesio tape on her hamstring. So the Cubans taking their own sweet little time and playing out the remaining quarter of an hour here. Here's Mangana, speedy. Still Mangana. Quick thinking by the Bermudan defense. They quickly realized one person can't stay near her. So she was crowded out on that occasion. A throw into Cuba, though. Good control by Torres, who scored that beauty of a goal to put Cuba 2-0 up. So remind you that we're going to be back here tomorrow night. At this time, we'll be just about, 20 minutes or so from kickoff. And that would be for the Scotiabank Concacaf League. Portmore United versus Ottawa. It's a second leg. And Portmore United trail 3-2. So a 1-0 victory for Portmore United would send them through. Ottawa needs only a draw. So that should be some game tomorrow night. And remind you, it starts at 10 o'clock Eastern Caribbean time and at 9 o'clock kickoff here in Jamaica. We're going to have that one live for you as well. Moya struggling to keep control of that ball. Ramirez, a little midfield maestro tonight. So Cuba has two of them. Here's Sandoval. Still Sandoval. Trying to tee up Ellis on that occasion. So Bermuda would have played 2 games at the end of tonight. Jamaica, the same. Antigua and Barbuda would have played 3. The same for Cuba at the end of tonight. And that is why it's so vitally important, especially for Cuba, because they only have 1 game remaining. So a victory tonight was very, very, very crucial. And they're just about 10 or so minutes away from sealing it. Throwing to Bermuda on the near side. Cut out again by Cuba. This is Moya. Sandoval skips away and spreads the pass to Zaylaine. Torres. This is the combination that undid the Antigua and Barbuda team on Monday night. Mangana and Torres. They're back together again. This is Mangana looking for Torres. Overhit. And the follow-up finds Pond. Torres. The feature of the Cuban team is that oftentimes the offending players, they come back to help out a lot. Oftentimes you see Torres, you see the likes of Sandoval. So players who go forward for Cuba, they also have a role in helping to defend. So they defend in numbers and attack in numbers. Here's an example of it. Sandoval, who's one of their key strikers, she's come back. Look at Torres there, who is one of their key strikers as well, or key players going forward. She's back as well. It's a good feature of the team. So they remain compact, whether they're attacking or they're defending. And it helps them to win the football back a lot, because they're always compact, whether they're going forward or they're defending. Here they are with the possession, though. Still searching for that 3rd goal, Cuba, which would really be a killer. In the meantime, Bermuda. And a very big decision here the referee has to make. He's having a chat there with Daryl. He's very lucky to have escaped without a call. Look at this. Off the ball. You don't strike a player. You do not strike your opponent, or strike any player for that matter. And that was off the ball. But the referee has decided to use her discretion, but she was well within her right to, at the very least, issue a yellow card there to Daryl. Here's Sandoval, though, looking for a shot. Ah, that dummy was sold there by Ellis. Torres going for the shot. Daryl is very, very fortunate tonight. Nia Christopher has done well for Bermuda tonight. If you're going to pick one player who's done really well, it's her. This is Sandoval. Does well all the time. And that left-footed effort just whistle past the right, upright of Pond's goal. So substitution will be made by Bermuda. They're taking out number 9, Daryl, to protect her, to save her from herself, I would imagine. She's becoming a bit erratic. And on goes Samira Daryl.
Replacing number 9, Daryl. 84th minute substitution, Bermuda, Keeping the game, number 9,
So one Daryl
replaced by number
for
11,
another.
Daryl Lowe.
Ahí nomás, no camine más.
Samira Darren Lowe. Here's Hidalgo. So at this stage, the Bermudans might now be thinking about the next assignment, because it looks like a lost cause here tonight. Stood up well to the Cubans. You know, different passages in the game. Bicep to bicep. Torres aiming for Sandoval. Ramirez. Speculative shot. More in hope than anything else. It's a good old-fashioned swing of the right foot. There she is. Her head was down in the ground when she was striking the ball. Didn't have a moment to look up to see where the goalkeeper was, because it was almost in one play, almost in one motion. Here's Frazzoni. This is Daryl Lowe, the second half substitute. Ball taken off her. Now Sandoval will launch this long and picks out Ellis. Too many Cuban defenders around her. Just about 4 minutes away from the end of this game. Well, 4 minutes away from the 90 minutes in normal time. We're now down to referee Benitez to decide if and how many added minutes we'll have. So the teams will have an opportunity tomorrow to put their feet up, or maybe to get pool sessions or ice bath, whatever you do when you get a day off to get ready for the next day. Sandoval. Bermuda streams forward. Edwards is available. So too Christopher. Well, it actually got to neither. So clearance made there by Tasney Fubler. There's Cuba coming forward once more. It hustled there by Frazzoni. No more, yeah. Kayla Ferbert knocked over in the middle of the park. So Cuba will move to 6 points. Three-way tie at the top for points. But Jamaica, by virtue of their superior goal difference, will lead ahead of Cuba, with Trinidad and Tobago third on goal difference. Antigua and Barbuda will remain at the foot of the table, even though Bermuda, like the Antiguans. Here's a chance now for Cuba to finally put it to bed. This is Torres. Ah, the wide open goal, and she missed. Having scored a beauty, she had a chance there now just to put that one away, and didn't. She beat the Bermudan defense and was 2 or 3 meters ahead of them. Goalkeeper Pond tried as best as possible to make herself big And she somehow succeeded in throwing off the striker. Torres, with her quality, really should have done much better with that one. Alvarez. Another wasted pass here from Birch Waldron. We're in the 90th minute of the game. So one of these two teams will be back here when the competition resumes on Friday. And that team is Bermuda. Going to be up against Antigua and Barbuda. In the first game, and then Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica will meet in the second game. That's on Friday. So Cuba will get an extended rest. They would feel they deserve it, having won tonight's game. A chase on here for Fulbert, but Hidalgo. So 3 minutes of time to be added, and we're into the first of those 3 added minutes. Sandoval skips away, brought down in the middle referee right on spot. Free kick has gone Bermuda's way. Yes. Hitting the player in the face. Clearly not deliberate. Bermuda still searching. What a goal would do to their confidence. They're yet to get off the mark as far as scoring is concerned. But it's Cuba's possession. Sandoval. A bit tired. There's a captain. Mina Novo. So under 2 minutes to go in this game. And Cuba comfortably in the ascendancy. So it's another night in the stadium and another defeat for Bermuda. And another night for Cuba in the stadium and another victory for Cuba. And a last-minute substitution with under a minute to go. The Cubans are bringing on Kainza. Balanci. Kainza. And off comes Zaylin. Zaylin is taking her own sweet time to get off the park, and can't be too much time left in this one. The referee might add a few more seconds to make up for the substitution. Hidalgo in the meantime is going across very confidently, picking that one out of the air. Referee Benitez put the whistle to her mouth, and she added just 1 second. And the game has finally come to an end with Cuba winning. And by virtue of a victory tonight, the 2-0 win over Bermuda, they've gone up to second on goal difference behind Jamaica and ahead of Trinidad and Tobago. But all 3 teams are on 6 points. And more importantly, crucially, what this has done tonight is to eliminate from the competition in terms of their chances of going through Antigua and Barbuda. They're officially not able to go through, and it's the only team with that to their name. So Bermuda, they still have a chance, as slim as it may appear, but they still do have 2 games and can end up on 6 points. So they're not out of it, but Antigua and Barbuda, they can't now go through. And there's a 3-way tie at the top of the table, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, and Cuba. But the goal difference has Jamaica leading over Cuba and Trinidad and Tobago. So we have come to the end of another day's broadcast of the Concacaf Caribbean Women's Qualifiers, with Cuba beating Bermuda by 2-0. Just to remind you that tomorrow night, we're going to have live from this same venue, Portmore United versus Motagua, and it gets going at 9 o'clock Jamaica time, 10 o'clock Eastern Caribbean time, and it's second leg Scotiabank Concacaf League Football. Portmore United coming into this game trailing by 3-2. Importantly, they scored 2 away goals, and a 1-0 victory would see them through. Montagua needs only a draw. We'll see how it unfolds when you join us tomorrow night for that coverage. Until then, have a good night and happy to have had your company.